Welcome to I'll Be There, the ultimate wedding podcast by Priya
and Nim
from Pristine Events. Whether you're a bride-to-be
or a groom gearing up
or just a wedding lover at heart, we've got you.
Hi everyone and welcome back to I'll Be There. I'm Nim.
I'm Priya.
And today we're going to be talking everything Bridesmaids and Groomsmen.
Woohoo! So this is a controversial topic. I'm laughing because Nim thinks I say everything is controversial, but it genuinely is.
No, I was actually laughing at the woohoo. But...
Oh, right. Well, I think it's a really fun topic to talk about.
Okay.
I actually do think it's controversial, even though you think I think everything is that, because not so much, I don't know how it is for guys, and I feel like probably quite chill, but for girls, I feel like the amount of brides that have messaged me last year and this year about bridesmaid party drama, letdowns, hens, just all of this kind of thing, I feel like there's just a lot to talk about. So yeah, let's just go straight in.
I mean, I think it's less controversial or stressful for a guy. I'm just putting it out there. I just think the expectation of what is needed from a groomsman is a lot less than for a bridesmaid.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they make less of a big deal out of everything generally. Like your stags, to be honest, most stags actually sound
really fun.
No, I was going to say just not very special. Like it's just like a boy's holiday, right? The groom isn't made to feel special in any way. Like you dress him up, not very nice. You then make him go and get makeup done in MAC. You then make him drink till he's completely like off his face. And there's no like cute little like special elements.
Yeah, but lads.
Yeah, okay, fine. But it's different. The hens and bridal showers and things for the bride are so different.
Yeah,
I think it's like
a rite of passage. It's like an initiation into getting married.
Yeah, I'm
like
just saying it's not appealing to me.
Yeah.
I'm sure you and other grooms like it. It's just not something I would, take part in.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think the groom loves the fact that he is the stag and therefore he's going to be the butt end of the jokes and the pranks or whatever. Yeah. But I think it's just the fact that you're going on holiday with your mates, or all of your mates, and you're just having an amazing time.
Yeah.
And not telling anybody what happened.
What happens on the stag stays on the stag.
Exactly.
We'll have a separate episode on hens and stags because that could be quite a fun one to talk about, like how to plan it. I can talk about things to make it really special. You can talk about things to
have fun.
Girls have fun as well.
It's a different kind of fun.
It's an organised, cutesy, special fun.
Yeah, like not.
Your fun is just like, I don't know, ratchet.
It's a bit rude.
Not ratchet, but like it's just not. It's not cutesy or special. It's just.
Yeah, I don't think most people go on a stag to be cutesy, but.
Okay, we'll see. Maybe next year. Okay, let's start with. I want to put some notes down.
Great, me too.
I want to start with. How do you know who to pick as your bridesmaids and groomsmen? Because I feel like both of us found this quite hard. So where do you start?
So what did I do? I went on WhatsApp, and I honestly, swear to God, I just looked at the people I've contacted most recently, and it wasn't like the most recent 3 people I picked.
I didn't know that.
Like, well, as in like in the last like year, you scroll down, like obviously your most recent chats at the top, and I'm like, who do I actually speak to? I've kind of forgotten. Most people were in this one boys group that I have, and then I picked from them, and then I kind of scrolled down a bit more. I was like, oh yeah, groomsmen, and sort of did it like that. To be fair, I think I didn't really think about it deeply enough.
Yeah.
Because I've been asked to be groomsman for other people's weddings that I didn't make them my groomsmen. And then I was like, actually, I probably should have made them a groomsman.
Okay.
But then you had already picked your number.
Yeah.
And I wanted to match that.
Yeah.
And then I had an issue where there were like certain people, if I make them a groomsman, then I have to make somebody else a groomsman.
Yeah,
and then it's going to be too many people. And then you don't have any more friends to make bridesmaids. So then it became a bit tricky.
Yeah. What? I just realised what you said. I did have other friends to make bridesmaids.
Oh, right,
I just didn't want to have it like already. I had 8 bridesmaids. That's quite a lot. It's quite a big bridal party. So I didn't want to make it 10 because then it's just too many people to manage and deal with, and also all the other things you have to think about them for, whether it's their dresses or outfits or hair and makeup or gifts or whatever it is. It just adds to that.
But then I had a lot of upset friends who weren't asked to be groomsmen because of that.
But we can go on to this, but there are other ways to include people in your wedding.
The stag.
Well, the stag's one of them, hen's one of them.
Yeah.
For a bride, it'll be bridal parties. Other things could be just like you can give them roles in the wedding, whether it's doing a reading or doing a speech or being in charge of a dance performance or just something to make them feel like they are special and they are involved.
Yeah, no, that is a good point.
So I think my personal things when it comes particularly to bridesmaids, like you said, I think brides rely on their bridesmaids, generally speaking, more than rely on their groomsmen.
Yeah.
So I think you have to pick people. Don't just pick it based on history.
You give me the right answer to how you pick your bridesmaids.
Yeah, not just looking through my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp, I don't even know what would come up. It would just be a whole mix of stuff because it's like everyone's in different groups and lots of like groups overlapping. It'd be very confusing for me to pick that way. So I would say go with people that you speak to regularly, that know what's going on in your life as regularly. I wouldn't just do it based on history. Like I know that's easier said than done, because if you've been childhood friends with someone or, you know, throughout school and things, you feel a bit more obliged. But if you don't feel like your lives are quite as in sync anymore, or you're just in different places, or you don't really have that much time for each other, it doesn't mean you're not good friends or you're not there for each other. It just means you're just not quite the same as you were when you were younger, and that's okay. So I think it's really important not to just do it based on that, because all that will happen is you'll then feel let down because that person isn't then behaving in a way that you would probably expect because they are busy or in a different place or just not as close to you. Yeah. And I think the hardest thing that what I've noticed from all these brides that message me is that it's kind of accepting that your friendships have changed, and friendships do change. So I think base it on people who you speak to regularly, are your general good friend, but also not in like a tactical way, but I think they also should pick people who are reliable, like people who you can rely on to help you with things, or they don't even necessarily have to be organised, they have to show up.
Yeah. And
I actually did a newsletter on this like a few weeks ago, but like, if you do have friends that are super flaky, last minute, a bit scatty, like, all over the place, chances are they're probably not going to be a good bridesmaid.
Yeah.
So unless they're like BFF and you're like, she is how she is, she's going to have to be a bridesmaid regardless, I think you don't necessarily need to make that person a bridesmaid. Does that make sense?
No, that does make sense. And I think on the point that you were saying about how times change and at different points in your life, you have different a different circle of people around you who you thought if you had got married at that point in time would be involved in your wedding. Things change. And I think the time between when you get engaged and when you actually have your wedding will change who your bridesmaids and groomsmen will be, which also means that you need to decide when you're going to actually pick these people, because you can always add extra bridesmaids and groomsmen, but to take people away or to swap them around is probably one of the most awkward conversations that you're going to have.
True. No, that is true. I can't imagine being... I'd be really sad if I was unmade a bridesmaid.
I was just thinking of the example of one of your friends who was asked to be a bridesmaid and declined the invitation.
Oh, right.
Because she didn't feel that she was close enough to be a bridesmaid.
But I think... But I actually have so much respect for that. And that goes on to kind of later on when we talk about asking people to be your bridesmaids and groomsmen. I feel like if someone does say no, and I get it's not what you maybe would expect, but if they have a valid reason, either they don't have the time to do it, or they don't feel like maybe they're in the right position to do it, i.e. maybe they're not like close to you, or whatever, they've got stuff going on in their lives, I think you should just respect it, because actually, again, you would rather be told from the beginning than have them on board for this journey, but then constantly be disappointed and frustrated.
Yeah, but what if the role that they're expecting from you is literally just to stand next to them as they're getting married? Like, is that not something that you can do, or is that still too much to ask?
I think it's also just like, maybe you just feel a bit awkward because you're like, I'm not actually that close to this person. Like, I don't know, it's a tough one.
You think that it's going to make it less awkward to unask to be a bridesmaid?
But it depends how you phrase it. And you could be like, I'm so flattered that, you know, you think you would like me to be your bridesmaid. I'm just trying to think of what I would say.
What's the end of that sentence?
I would just be like...
I prefer to just be a guest.
No, I'd just be like, if I'm being completely honest, I would just say, look, I would just be like, I don't think I could fulfill all the bridesmaid roles and duties because I've got a lot going on in my life right now, and I want you to be really supported by your bridesmaids. Obviously, we'll still come to the wedding and we'll bring good energy and we'll, you know, show up for you. But... Okay,
let's play it out and I'm the bride. Okay, but don't worry, hon, I'm just asking you to just stand next to me. I won't ask you to do anything.
No, I know. I completely understand that. I just feel like I want someone that's going to... You should have people around you that are going to give you 100%, and people that, you know, are your best friends and super close to you and can give you all... You are my best friend. I actually don't know. To be honest, I'm the kind of person that would just buckle and do it, and inside be so confused. But my point is, I would respect it.
End scene. Sorry.
Yeah. I'd respect it, and I think you should. And I think similarly on the flip side, if someone does ask you and if you're like, oh my God, I don't feel comfortable doing this, or this is really weird, I think you should just be honest, like in a really nice way. Otherwise, you'll be going to events you don't want to go to. You'll be spending money on things you don't want to spend money on, like hens or bridal showers, and the whole time it'll make you frustrated at the situation.
Yeah.
So I think Don't just do it on history. Do it based on someone that you're close to, who knows what's going on in your life, understands you as a person, kind of your likes and dislikes, which will come on to things like if they organise your hen and your bridal shower, you want people that get you, that don't just do a generic thing, but that if you're a low-key person that doesn't want to go clubbing, then just do like a chilled hen do where you have like massages and you have like pedicures, manicures, like facials, like that could be your vibe. So they need to really understand you as a person to be able to support you in your wedding journey. And then, like I said, people that are reliable and not flaky and not scatty and hopefully have their shit together.
But then going on from what we said earlier, like, so at what point do you actually make the decision of, okay, these are the people that are going to be my bridesmaids and groomsmen? I mean, you've basically talked about how you pick them.
I think I did, to be honest, my bridesmaids were pretty much the same bridesmaids I thought I was going to have throughout my life. Sounds so lame that I've been planning this since I was born, but anyway, but like I had my childhood best friend from primary school, I had my like a few best friends from secondary school, and then I had 2 best friends from uni, so that was actually quite nice that it was staged. So I think for me, I did it at the beginning of our wedding journey because it was kind of the same people that I always thought. However, if you are in like an unsure place, or if you're still umming and ahhing, I would maybe wait like maybe 3 or 4, depending on how long your wedding journey is, but like a few months into it, when you've started the planning, you've started to see like how everyone is,
and probably when you start needing to come up with roles for the wedding as well, like near the time that you're kind of wanting to go on your hen, and then you're starting planning the actual wedding itself, like who do I need to make speeches, who do I need to walk me down the aisle with, if you've got like if your partner has groomsmen, like do I have the right number of people so they match it accordingly, or vice versa.
Do they need to be the same numbers though?
I mean, they don't. I think if you're having a civil, I think it's probably better that you do. It just looks better, especially if they're standing at the front. If you're not having a traditional civil and they're just kind of part of your bridal party, you're going to be helping out with things, I don't think it matters at all.
Yeah, I think
then it's just like the reception entrances, and it's just like a swarm of people who enter, right?
Yeah, I think it's a nice to have, but I don't think it's a necessity, because it's great for photos, like you said, in like being uniform. But obviously,
wait, so I could have asked 2 of my other friends.
Yeah, you could have. But my point is, if you don't have enough,
sorry, you know who you are.
If you don't have enough, you don't need to then just add Tom, Dick, and Harry into your thing just to make the numbers match. So obviously, it's got to be meaningful, and I think quality over quantity. And again, like I said, I actually think having a bigger bridal party is harder to manage, like just logistics wise, like hair, makeup in the morning when they're all getting ready, getting enough photos, like there's just a lot to deal with. So don't just feel like you need to have one unless you've got genuine good deep relationships with all of those people. So yeah, I think either at the beginning if you're 100% sure, otherwise like you said, wait a few months so you've got a rough idea of your wedding plan and like timelines, your date, all of those details, and then you can start having a think of actually who's going to really help me with this or be there for me in this journey. So
then you've picked them. Like, what are the kind of bare minimum expectations from them?
Well,
I'm talking about bridesmaids. I'll answer for groomsmen.
Okay, fine. Bridesmaids, I think, so in the lead up, I think they're expected to organise, or at least partly organise the hen, depending on, like, for example, like my sister was my maid of honour, so she basically led on my hen planning, my bridal shower planning. But yeah, you're between the maid of honour and the bridesmaids, they should plan like a hen, plus or minus a bridal shower if that's something you want to do. And then I don't think there should be a huge expectation to help loads with wedding planning. And I think, and this is what I actually, when some of these brides message and say they're having a really hard time, they don't feel like their bridesmaids are excited for them, they don't feel like they're being there for them, they don't feel like they're helping. I kind of have to say to them, like what we said the other day, like only you care about your own wedding, and us. And obviously it is your whole world, but everyone's lives are busy and are carrying on, and they aren't going to be thinking about it until the week of that wedding, and then they'll be like, oh my god, it's your wedding week, how are you feeling? So it's normal for them not to check in all the time and to message you all the time about it and ask for updates. Obviously, yes, maybe like every few weeks or every month when you see them, they'll obviously say, well, I hope they would say, how is wedding planning going? But it's not going to be a regular check-in type of thing. So I think in terms of the help and the lead up, I think it will vary depending on what your friends are like. But I would say what would be nice is if there was a couple of days or a couple of evenings that they did come and help you throughout that whole wedding journey. So it doesn't have to be much. Like for me, some of my bridesmaids, one of them came dress shopping with me, and no, 2 of them came dress shopping with me, which was really nice. Then a different 2 came and helped with me making the DIY. We made like DIY ceremony programs. So they came and helped with that. So like I think it's just having a couple of evenings or a couple of like appointments or things that you might want them to come with you to, but it's definitely not an expectation where they should be checking in every week, knowing all your plans about your wedding, coming to all your appointments, because nobody has the time for that, especially as we all get older. Everyone's very busy. So I think maybe just planning a bridal shower, and then a couple of days DIY help or shopping help. Then on the actual day, I think they need to really show up, and they need to have understood what your day is like. Obviously, you can prep them like the week of or a month before, and they need to understand timings. What I normally say is that your key bridesmaid, so your maid of honour or chief bridesmaid, needs to be in charge of the whole group, so then you're not having to tell each of them individually. So you just tell one responsible person. They will make sure the right bridesmaid is where she's supposed to be, making sure they're on time. Please don't turn up late to the bride's wedding, because it's very stressful for the bride to be like, oh, things are running late. So be on time, bring loads of good energy, like music on, happy, like even if it's raining outside, even if something's running late, like just be really good, positive energy around the bride, because until you're there on that wedding morning, you don't realise how nerve-wracking it can be, and you just need like fun, happiness around you. And even if you don't want them getting ready in the same room as you, they should at least be like nearby. So even for my civil, I had my own room, but they were all in the like nearby rooms, so they would keep coming and checking in on me, having a drink, chatting, and because there was 8 of them, they were like in and out because they were having hair and makeup done. So I think good energy, know the day really well, and any roles that you've assigned them, that could be little things like fluff out your dress when you get to the end of the aisle, or fluff out your veil, or get your drink ready for the drinks reception, or make sure that your parents have got X, Y, and Z for their entrances or their speech, like little things like that. Then I think they need to just have all their roles and know it off by heart, and just like, again, keep an eye out for your hair, for your makeup, do a lipstick top up, check you're okay, get you some food. Kind of sounds like all the things that we do when we're there as Pristine, but yeah, just basically check in on you the whole day, and like just make sure that any little thing that you need, they're there.
I haven't spoken in about 5 minutes. Our audio listeners are going to think I'm dead.
No, sorry, I was really passionate about this because you don't see all the DMs that I get from these poor girls that are having a really like crap time being let down by their bridesmaids, and I just feel like it's a good topic to passionately speak about. But you can now tell us.
I mean, mine's going to be a lot shorter because I mean, I don't know if I'm basing this solely on my own wedding, but I think from having managed and planned other people's weddings as well, I think the expectation from groomsmen is a lot lower. I think guys, again, I'm generalizing here, but guys, for the most part, we have some grooms who are like really heavily involved in the wedding, but like guys generally have a bit more of a backseat in terms of the planning side of things. Therefore, they don't generally need that much support in terms of the planning, because often their roles are like alcohol and the DJ.
Yeah.
Like you said, planning the stag is obviously the main thing.
So that's your only expectation? No, but on the day there are.
I didn't say it was the only. I said it was like
the main.
The maybe not the main. The kind of first thing they need to organise. Then there's the speeches. So either your best man plus or minus a couple of the other groomsmen. And then on the day, it's obviously just supporting you, being there for you, just honestly just being around. Like, you're probably not super stressed the same way that the bride is, but just having that support around you in the morning, just making you feel like, oh, you know what, like, I've come a long way, this is like a special day for me. And then just having guys around you who kind of bring you up. Did
you feel like that when your groomsmen came?
Yeah, it was really nice. Like, we just, I mean, again, like, we were staying at that hotel across the road, and then we all kind of grabbed a pint, we were just chatting, and then like we had some photographs taken. It was like casual, but it's what I would have wanted.
Yeah.
Just to kind of calm you down before the day. In terms of other roles, I mean, small things, like for example, like if you don't have a coordinator, you can get your best man or one of the other groomsmen to kind of help out with things here and there. For our India wedding, like we had the groomsmen sort of running around doing things like opening the bar, closing the bar, queuing the DJ, etc. One thing that I did ask of them, plus some of my other friends, is to do an entrance.
Oh yeah.
Plus or minus a dance, which, yeah, it depends on your group of friends. I mean, bless them, they tried, but it wasn't the best.
Oh yeah, to be fair, I forgot about entrances and speeches and dances for the bridesmaids. That's that. Yeah, like you said, I think.
Yeah, but your bridesmaids knew the assignment.
Yeah, they did. They understood it. Did yours?
Yeah, they knew it. They just couldn't execute it.
They tried though. Oh, that's all that matters. Okay, fine. So that's kind of going over their rough roles. Then do you do a proposal? I know I made you do one for the groomsmen, which I don't think you would have done had I not brought it up, but like, are you glad you did it? Should people do it?
I'm glad I mean, yeah, you use the term proposal. I think a lot of guys listening to this, if there are any guys listening to this, won't know what that means, aside from the actual proposal you did for your wife. But a groomsman proposal is essentially you just asking your groomsman, will you be my groomsman? I only did it mainly because you were doing it, and not because I wanted to copy you, but I just thought, well, if you're doing that for your side, I think I want my groomsmen to feel like they're equally as valuable for this wedding experience as well. And then, yeah, you got some gifts for your bridesmaids, and then I asked you to sort out some gifts for my groomsmen.
So what did you get them? What did
we get them?
Yeah.
A hanger, which had our wedding date on it and their names. Depending on if they were beer drinkers or whiskey drinkers, I got them a beer mug or a beer glass, or a
hip flask.
Hip flask. Sorry, I'm like losing my words. Yeah, a hip flask.
And some socks.
And some socks, which had the wedding date on it, which some of them still wear. But I think that's more because they don't have any other socks, rather than like they really cherish my wedding day. I want to think about it all the time. I think that was pretty much it. And then we just sort of had before the stag, we just had a day out, kind of just us, 7 or 8 of us, which is just really nice. To kind of spend some time with them and then just having jokes. So most of them knew each other, but just sort of making sure that everybody gets to know each other before the stag and then the actual wedding itself.
Yeah, that's nice. That is a real big benefit of doing multiple events.
So like for us, we obviously had our engagement party, we had a rehearsal dinner, we had these separate events for our bridesmaids and groomsmen and the weddings and things, and obviously not everybody can either has the time for that or can afford it, etc. But I think if you can do as many things as possible, it's nice, and as long as your friend group are amenable to that as well. I think you were talking about this earlier without saying it specifically, but sometimes you have people in either your bridal party or your groomsmen party who kind of are a bit siebes, and I think that often comes if you're like the last person in your friend group to get married, and it's a real shame. But just because everyone's kind of done with it and like people have started having kids, and I think sometimes that can put a bit of a dampener on your wedding. But I think that's why it's also important to really think about, look, just because 5 years ago I was somebody else's bridesmaid or groomsman doesn't mean they're going to be mine now, because they might be in a different phase of their lives and you guys might not be as close. Maybe they can do a speech because they've known you for so long. But I don't think that necessarily means that you have to kind of make them yours as well.
I think a lot of people feel that pressure because they're like, oh God, I was theirs and now I have to do it back. And I think then that's when it just leads to people being disappointed because your friendship has changed, and it's obvious in that sense.
So talk to us about your bridesmaid proposal.
Mine was really fun. So it was a bar called Juno Rooms, and they had this little like private room which was just like, was really small, but it was really cute, like enough for 10 people, so it was perfect. And then it was like a bottomless brunch, and I got everyone a bridesmaid box, and on the inside it said, I can't say I do without you, will you be my bridesmaid? And then I got, obviously I love personalised stuff, as everyone knows, so I got them like personalised everything. I can't remember, I actually will, whenever this goes live, I'll post the reel I made of like making the box, but it was basically like and
then also show the bridesmaids versus groomsmen entrance dances.
Oh fine, so they can see what you're talking about. So I think it was also a hanger, I think it was a candle, it was a bracelet. I'm trying to think.
Wasn't there like a bag that you said that they
still a makeup bag? Oh, and then I got a beach bag because we were going to Miami for my hen, so I got them a beach bag with their initials on it. That's also key, and I put this in my newsletter. If you do get gifts,
don't put your wedding date on it.
Yeah, don't put your wedding date, or you can, but like, not on everything. And don't put bridesmaid everywhere, purely because it's just harder to use afterwards. Like, had I got everyone bridesmaid beach bags, they wouldn't be using it, but now I see all of them still the little beach bags, and it has their initials on it, and it's nice because I know it's there. Same with their makeup bag, it just had their name on it. So I got a candle, and the candle was engraved saying bridesmaid and the date. Then a beach bag, a makeup bag, some jewelry, I think like the bridesmaid gowns that they were going to wear on the day. And then I'd written them like each a long card with like basically why I love them and why I want them to be part of my wedding journey, and that also had a photo of us on it, and then a few other like little bits in there. But it was a really sick bridesmaid box, if I say so myself. Like, it was a really big one, and they were all really happy. There was a few tears as well when they were like opening the cards. It was really sweet.
That's better than my proposal to you.
It was really nice. It was really fun. And then you guys came and joined us afterwards. So actually that was another event that wasn't meant to be joint, but it ended up being joint. And it's really nice when the bridal party and the groom party like get on really well, because then it just, everything merges better. In terms of gifts though for them, I think you don't have to spend
100%. Just something nice, like a sort of token gift, I think is nice to show that you care. I think the other thing that we need to talk about is if you're asking your bridesmaids or groomsmen to wear something specific, i.e. bridesmaids dresses, a groomsman tux or suit or bow tie, do you pay for it?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so.
I feel like I should have disagreed to make this more interesting, but no, I completely agree. I think like what I did for mine, again, like that doesn't mean that everyone has to do the same thing, but I picked a suit color which I assumed most people had. So like I said, can you wear a dark blue suit? Everyone's like, yeah, cool. Well, except for one guy who wore a light blue suit, but hey ho.
Look out for him in the dance video.
Yeah, and then I mean, to be fair, I signed off on it, but I just felt bad asking him to buy a new suit. But then I bought them matching ties and matching pocket square from Etsy, which was like really cheap, and then it at least tied them all together. I think it's probably more difficult with girls because for bridesmaids outfits, if you want them to all wear the same thing, first of all, I think it's really hard because I think girls are a bit more specific about the styles of what kind of outfits make them look good or what's flattering. And then also if it's like a really obvious bridesmaid's outfit, like they may not want to wear it again. Yeah. Whereas
the suit you're always going to get.
Suits you can wear again, even if I asked them to. I paid for a suit for them, but I didn't.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I didn't. I think I sorted out their civil outfits because they were all the same dresses. The Indian outfits I contributed a bit, so I think I paid a bit towards it, and then they paid the rest. I can't remember how much it was. I think they maybe paid like £90 each or something. So yeah.
I think just know your crowd, right? Like know your group of friends, especially if you're having like we did a destination wedding, and then you're also like, by the way, come to my stag or hen, and then also pay for all these outfits and etc. Like I think then it can add up. But, you know, if they're happy to do it or they're seemingly happy to do it, then I think it's fine. I mean, for my groomsmen for India, all the one thing I asked of them was to measure themselves so that we could get an outfit made, and I think without fail they all measured it incorrectly. Yeah, we had to get trousers remade, didn't we? That was so stressful. But I think just like I said, know what your crowd are like. I think if you can pay for it, if you've got the budget to pay for it, then you should. If you can't pay for the outfits, and I think, for example, for bridesmaids, if they also were having hair and makeup done, then maybe pay for that. I think there should be an element of something that you're paying for, whether it's gifts, whether it's their outfits, whether it's, you know, like their hair and makeup on the day, just so that they can also feel your gratitude. Not that you have to pay for things to be grateful, but I think it's just a way of showing them. No, it's true, because you're essentially, this whole podcast has been talking about like what we expect from them. Yeah. And obviously your friendship or your reciprocated friendship is going to be something that you've given back, but I think in this period you should give something back, something more than you're giving to the rest of your 200 guests who are coming to your wedding. Yeah, I agree. And also, like, I feel like it's a really nice time, and I know I'm just really laying into this stuff, but it's also a really nice time to show your general gratitude to them as a friend. Like, you'll send them a happy birthday message, you'll send them a whatever, but actually to sit down and, like, I hand wrote all of my cards at the proposal, then I wrote them again on the wedding day, just to really explain like how much they mean to me, how grateful I am for them. Like, and I think it's quite rare you sit down and have time to do that, especially as you get older. So I think it's just a nice thing to do. And back on that point about gifts, I think I mentioned it already, but just try and make it as practical as possible, rather than just like gimmicky stuff, like stuff that they can actually use. I know I said about not having it personalized, but regardless of it being personalized, just stuff that they can get use out of daily, like, or regularly, rather than just something like they can just put on their shelf and never look at again. But yeah, no, I think it's a hard one. I think you've just got to, I think ideally cover it if you can, if you agree. We agree on it. Yeah. Okay, I think we've been talking for ages, but there's so much more to talk about, so we'll probably again have to do part 2 of this. Should we get all our bridesmaids and groomsmen on? Oh yeah, and ask them how they found us as a couple. Well, oh, you pick one, I'll pick one. Okay, fine. And then they'll just do the whole podcast. Let's talk about, just bitch about us as bride and groom. Maybe. I have to see who can get on. I'll get Aline on. I'll get Midda on. Okay, fine. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this was helpful. What I think also we could do is maybe read out anonymously some of these bridesmaid-related queries and dramas people are having, and then just answer them. Maybe see if any grooms out there are having any groomsmen issues. Yeah. But I think that could be a helpful one. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening. Please like, follow, subscribe for more.